let's talk about how to join as we go. So we're going to start another motif here the same way, and we'll just make it up until we do that second row there. So go ahead and make your second motif, but don't start on row 3, and I'll meet you there. Okay, so I made the first 2 rounds of our motif. So let's start on round 3 so we can join as we go. Now we're going to chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we are going to slip stitch into that third out of the 5, that third double crochet, that middle one there, and we'll start our round 3. So chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and that counts as a double treble crochet. Then we're going to make like our first 2 loops. So 2 of the loops out of the 4 for this this particular petal. So we have our double treble crochet, chain 1 more, block that off, and do your chain 5 picot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chain 2, double treble crochet, and then we'll make 1 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And double treble crochet. So basically the next 2 we're going to join. So when we're joining these, the 2, we're going to connect to these 2 here. Okay, so after you make that double treble crochet, we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to slip stitch into that first one. So this first one corresponds here. We're going to do a slip stitch into that picot. Like that. Okay, slip stitch into that picot, and then from there we're going to chain 2, okay, and then we're going to go back into this chain here. So we're going to skip about 2 of these chains and then put a single crochet in the next chain. So it kind of looks like it's a picot on this side as well. Okay, and then from there we'll chain 2, and then we'll do our next double treble crochet into the same stitch. Okay, so we connected our first picot there, and now we have to connect our second picot to this second picot here. So we're going to do the same thing. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to slip stitch into this next picot here. Then we'll chain 2, and we'll go back to that chain 4 space there, skip 2, and so go in here and skip 2 and single crochet into that third chain space there, like that. Chain 2 more, and a double treble crochet. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we have our first two joined. So in this second one, we're going to take the first two out of the four. So this one we had just two out. We're going to take the first two out of the four and join it to these two. So like we did in between the petals, we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And put a double treble crochet into this middle stitch here. 1, 2, 3. That's the middle. So now these first two have to be joined to these two. So we're going to do the same way. We're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slip stitch into that corresponding picot in the other motif. Okay, chain 2, skip 2 and single crochet into that third chain, chain 2, and double treble crochet all right, and then we have to connect this next faux picot to this corresponding picot. So chain 4, slip stitch into the corresponding picot, chain 2, skip 2 and single crochet into this third chain space, chain 2, and double treble crochet into the same stitch. Like that. So now we're done connecting to this next motif, and you can finish the rest of the motif that way, in a normal way. So we'll chain 1, block that off, and do our chain 5 picot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chain 2, double treble crochet, and then we have one more to make it 4 little loops there. So chain 1, block that off, chain 5 picot, chain 2, and double treble crochet. So that is how you join as you go. I'm going to go ahead and finish this this motif. All right, so I made my way all the way around, and once you make your way all the way around, you'll go ahead and slip stitch into that very first that 7th chain out of the chain 7. So that's how you would join to a neighboring motif. Now, when you have multiple, so this might be a little bit harder to see because it's in a circle already. So see here, now I have 3, 1, 2, well, I have 2 motifs to connect to on this one. I hope all the strings are not annoying to view, but if you can see, I have a motif here and a motif here. So when I come in to connect these, I'm going to connect to these 2 on the inside, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I had another one here, I would connect to those 4 there. So you just have to you know, make sure that you're connecting to the corresponding picots. So let's do one of these together. Just want you to see that, you know, so this one is pretty easy because we just have two, but sometimes you'll have to be connecting to more than one motif. So you'll see that, you know, if I wanted to connect, if I had one here, I would have to connect to these two to put one here and also the two right here. So we're back at round 3 and we already did this chain 7 here to slip stitch into that first part. And now let's think about how we're going to connect this. Make sure you're connecting to the front and not the back. Yes, this is the front. Okay, so now we need to connect to this square and this square at the same time. So the principle is the same. We just kind of got to see how we're going to do it. So if I started it off here, then I would make two picots because those 2 picots would go on this side, 2 picots before I connect to these 2. So I'm going to go ahead and make my first 2 loops. All right, so I've made my first 2 loops. And so now we want to connect to these 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll also have to connect to these 4 here. Okay, I know it's messy. I got strings everywhere, but hopefully you can follow along with it. So the way we connected was chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll slip stitch into the corresponding picot. And then we'll chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 out of this 4, and then single crochet into that 3rd stitch there. Okay, then chain 2 and do our double treble. Okay, so we'll do it again to that next corresponding picot. So chain 4. Okay, then we'll slip stitch into that corresponding picot there. Chain 2. Skip 2 out of these 4 and single crochet into the 3rd. It doesn't have to be perfect if you can't really see it. I'm just kind of guessing. Okay, and then chain 2 and double treble crochet . 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now you can see that we are connected to the first 2. Now we have to connect to these 2, and those 2. So we'll chain 6 because we're done with this petal. Chain 6 to get to the next petal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we'll do our double treble crochet into the middle of this next petal. Okay, so now we have to join here, so we'll chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Find that corresponding picot. So it's the same deal. You just kind of got to plan ahead to make sure you're connecting to the right picots. Okay, chain 2, skip 2, and single crochet in that third space, chain 2, and finish that loop with a double treble. Okay, so now we have to connect. I know it's kind of hard to see. Now we have to connect our next loop to this treble, or to that picot. So we'll chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and slip stitch into that corresponding picot. Chain 2, skip 2, and single crochet in that third chain away, chain 2, and double treble crochet. All right, so now we are completely, let's see if I can move this. Now we are completely connected to this top motif here. And now we have to connect. Sorry, this is a circle already. I should have did a flat one for the video, but I already had it made. Okay, so we're already connected to this one, and now we have to connect to this one. So we're still in the first 2 loops of this petal. So we'll finish the last 2 loops in those 2. So we'll chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and single crochet into, or sorry, not single crochet, slip stitch into that picot there, the corresponding picot, chain 2, I'm going to turn it some, chain 2, skip 2, and single crochet into the third chain away, chain 2, and double treble crochet into the same stitch. Okay, so we did that first picot. Now we have to connect to this corresponding picot here. So we'll chain 4, find our corresponding picot, and slip stitch into there, chain 2, skip 2, and single crochet, chain 2, and double treble crochet. Okay, so let's fix that so now we can see how it looks. So now we see that we've connected to this top one and the first part of this side one. So we just have a connection here. So in order to get there, we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and do our double treble in the next petal. Chain 4, and we will be connecting to the next 2 corresponding picots. So slip stitch into the next picot, chain 2, skip 2, single crochet, chain 2, and double treble into this next stitch, or in the same stitch, sorry. Okay, so we did the first one, and now we're gonna connect to the next corresponding picot. So chain 4, slip stitch into the corresponding picot, chain 2, and single crochet, skip 2 and single crochet in that third space there, chain 2, and double treble crochet. Okay, so let me put that how it was. Okay, so now you can see that we are connected here and here. So you just have to plan it out and make sure that you're connecting to the corresponding stitches. So on every square, the next square on this side will connect to these. So every square is going to connect with the inner 4 on that side. So these 4 will go to this square. These four will go to the square below. These 4 will go on that side, and these 4 at the top will go to the motif at the top. But that's kind of the idea there. Okay, so that's how you join as you go. And I hope that that was clear enough. You can definitely ask me questions. Like I said, I'm working on a skirt, and it looks a mess because it has strings everywhere for now. But yeah, I'm gonna be working on this skirt. So once this skirt is done, I'm gonna tell you like how many squares that you need to make each size. So this will be my kind of like my sample. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you on the skirt video very soon, hopefully. I mean, I'm gonna keep trying to work on it. Thank you guys so much. Bye.